Hello, everyone. This is an orientation to Zoom for students enrolled in SLHS 3304 Phonetics in spring 2020 as we move to at least 2 weeks of online instruction in phonetics while we deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. So welcome. You will be seeing me in this state quite a bit. This is me sitting at my dining room table with my kitchen behind me and my spouse, Kevin, making a cup of coffee that he'll bring to me, the loving spouse that he is, but he is still working at his office, so he won't be here very often. Here comes loving spouse.
There you go.
A cup of Joe. All right, so the reason that I wanted to have this orientation is that there's something very important that you all get a little bit of practice with before the Zoom lectures, and also just to reiterate on video form some of the things that I shared in email. So first, let me just reiterate some of the things that I shared on email. The first of this is that I will be recording Zoom lectures during the regularly scheduled class time, and prior to that, I will share a link to the meeting, and I will invite you all to join me in real time, but you needn't do so. A lot of people are going to be vying with family or housemates for internet or even for devices. And so, oh my God, what do I have? It's on my teeth. You're going to be vying with housemates or family members for devices and for internet. And it simply won't be feasible for you all to join us in real time, and that's absolutely fine. My expectations are calibrated to that reality, so to speak. Those of you who haven't used Zoom before, take a little bit of time to familiarize yourself with the interface. When you are in a Zoom meeting, you can, so that is to say, actually joining in real time versus watching a video file of the meeting itself. If you mouse over the video screen of you, you'll see a menu on the bottom there, and one of the menu's items is chat. And so I invite you to use the chat to ask questions, to interact with one another. And I certainly invite you to use the chat to ask questions about phonetic transcriptions. And so that invites the question, how are you going to phonetically transcribe things in text in a window? And the answer is, well, I'll show you how. There are many different ways you can do this, and the one, after trying a few of them just now, the one that I think is going to be the best is using Google Docs. And so let me share my screen and walk you through how you would use Google Docs to share a phonetic transcription, or to even to write out a phonetic transcription. Okay. So now I'm sharing out my browser. So here we are in Google Docs. So I just got to Google Docs by typing docs.google.com. We all have Google Docs. Ooh, I don't want you to see what's in my Google Docs there. So there, that was quick. Good. I mean, it's just because I'm department chair, there's just a lot of admin stuff that's there, nothing untoward. So here we are in a Google Doc, and let's imagine that I wanted to share my transcription of the word table. Now let's not do table, let's do kitten, a favorite word. So if I wanted to transcribe kitten phonetically, any symbol that I could use that is already on the keyboard, I'll just type it as I regularly would. So we have K and T and the square brackets and the N. Those are all things that are already, those are all characters that are already characters on the regular keyboard. So we don't need anything special. But to get the small cap I in the first syllable of kitten, we can go to Insert, Special Characters, and then on this first menu here, we want to go to Latin, IPA. And then, boom, we have, oh boy, my phone is just dinging off the hook there. We have a whole menu of different things that we can insert here. And looky look, here we go, small cap I. All right, but we've been learning to transcribe diacritics. And so we know that the voiceless feeler stop in the first syllable of kitten is aspirated, and well, there you go. We have an aspiration diacritic. We also know that in my pronunciation of kitten, not kitten, not kitten, but kitten, 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 we have a syllabic N. And so we've got to go down here and figure out, okay, where's the right diacritic for that syllabic N? And I actually don't think it's that one that I just had moused over. Let's give it a shot. And I'm wrong. All right, so you're going to see a lot of this trial and error. This is not an online class that I prepared to be online. Here we go. So here's this. Here's the diacritic right here, and there we go. We have kitten as transcribed with an aspirated initial K and a syllabic N. Now we haven't talked about stress yet, but as it happens, the first syllable of kitten is stressed, and we can put this stressed diacritic in just prior to that syllable to show that kitten is stressed on the first syllable. So we have stressed first syllable, aspirated K, syllabic N. We can then highlight this whole thing, copy, and then go down to the chat room, and I can share that in the chat room. You see when I share it in the chat room, the syllabic diacritic for the N got a little bit misaligned. That is just that is an inherent problem with using these kinds of characters for what are called Unicode characters. Using Unicode characters for phonetic transcription is that sometimes the diacritics get a little bit misaligned. And those of you who are very precise in the way you do things will be quite put off by this, but it's just a sort of part of the reality that we're gonna have to live in here. All right, so that's a little tutorial about the use of phonetic symbols in our class. And just everyone remember, this is a new reality for us all. This is something that none of us were preparing for. It's a good thing that this is a case where creativity, flexibility, fortitude, resourcefulness, all of those traits are gonna really, they're gonna make it or break it. And so I promise to bring all of those traits, you know, as much resourcefulness, as much creativity, as much flexibility as I can to the table, and I encourage you to do the same. And I hope that you will share, I hope you will join me in sort of this idea of thinking like at a time like this where creativity is needed, the last thing that's going to be useful is for us to come at each other hot. So if you know what I mean when I say come at each other hot. Everybody is stressed out about this. Everybody is stressed out about this. And it's natural that we're all going to be a little sort of frayed, and that we're going to be, so I don't mean afraid, I mean like afraid. So it's natural that we're all going to feel this way. But if we want to engage each other in creative solutions, we really just have to keep it cool. That's certainly been the ethos that I have adopted in dealing with this situation, both in my teaching and as well as in my research and my work as chair. All right, so bon courage. We're gonna do this.